Okay.
So I then tried to arrest him for felony obstruction of justice, and I was debating whether I put down accessory to 10 counts, attempted assault and battery. But then I just settled on felony obstruction of justice. And then I had a big crash out, and I calmed down, and now we're good. And now I'm not doing it. Now today, the reason for a crash out, not my crash out at least, PD had successfully shot down 5 members of Bang Bang. Then took them to the hospital. A new 5 Hades, from what I've been told. I wasn't there for this. I was only there for part of it. A new 5 Hades had arrived and then started shooting at the cops. They wiped the PD. I stepped in as well. I got wiped. I got wiped because civilians, this happened at the front of MIPD, and civilians kept trying to interfere and fuck with the cops because they didn't like that we told them to leave because it was an active shootout. And so they were pouring gasoline on our cars mid-shootout, and we started shooting them. Yeah, we did. We started shooting them thinking that they were the criminals. And, ultimately...
in that moment, they are the criminals. Like, they're just as... Yeah. That's a threat. You can state v. garner that.
And so, in that same position, we see Draco saving Ricky and loading him into a car. I have the perfect top drop. I get out. I start shooting at a guy standing right next to the cop car, looking through the trunk, right next to where the criminal's aiming guns at us. It's a civilian hanging out with them. I have to stop shooting him because I realize too late that I'm shooting a fucking civilian. And then I get gunned down by a different guy because I'm like, oh, what the fuck? That's a civilian. Like, I'm not talking
I'm gonna be honest. If you just saw him go through the trunk of a cop car mid-shootout, I believe you have good faith to end his existence. Like, I'm going to be perfectly honest. If there's active gunfire and they are going through the trunk of a cop car, you could articulate that is a threat. Like, you can't fix stupid, and we can let the courts decide that one way or the other. But if people are so fucking moronic that they are putting themselves in front of bullets like that, there comes a certain point, Croc, where, you act in good faith and you articulate that. You don't, clown on them for being fucking stupid. You get a medical just the same, and I'd still charge them. That's obstruction. And they can fight it in the courts. But, because I have that shit happen all the time. I have random people who, neither myself nor the criminals that I am actively engaged with know who these people are, who will just kind of ruck up and involve themselves. And like on the EU shift, it happens sometimes because like Salim and Eugene are doing dumb shit, and like some random person will show up to try to help them, and they'll even tell them to fuck off. But I have seen it time and time again, and Bang Bang in particular, we were doing a hospital transport, bringing them back from the hospital before, and Hades
this is all PD
attacked our convoy in front of MRPD to get Ricky and his people out. If you're transporting Bang Bang, just assume that you're about to get hit by like 6 different groups at 7 different places. And you're probably gonna you're gonna lose your shit. That's what's about to happen. Like unless you shell game them and trick them, and even then it's gonna turn into a shootout. It's the dumbest shit. But that is none of this is new. This has been going. Why do you think? I do not find myself chomping at the bit to get involved in these shootouts and all this craziness.
I've started avoiding them.
Yeah. Because you will lose your fucking mind. Because in the moment that you push back on a civilian who is acting like a fucking moron in the middle of a police action,
thanks to the 54
they continue to then triple, double, quadruple down and act like more of a fucking moron. And you end up in a situation where it is just unpleasant to the nth degree. And other than slapping cuffs on them and throwing them in a fucking cell, there ain't much to do. But also, we ain't got the people for that, because you are dealing with the crew that you're already dealing with, plus whatever fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry decide they want to try to be a vigilante, and then you're just kind of left with doing the best you can. I don't know what to tell you. Other than this shit's been happening for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
But it's sold in a wound that it happens like that, because PD finally gets a win, and then it's just, no, here's your L, bro. You don't get your win. And additionally, whilst that was happening, CHANG got blasted. They got blasted by the wizards. I think 3 or 4 CHANG gang get transported to hospital, and then a whole new 5 bunch of them came up and then broke them out of the hospital again.
Yeah. Well, it's a 9-step process to actually arresting somebody.
It is a 9-step process, but to escape the cops, it's a 1-step process.
Yeah. That's why when we ruck up to scenes, these gang shootouts, the gangs don't give a fuck that we're there. We're
in the middle of them and they start shooting through our cars to shoot them. Like, they don't care.
Yeah. And I understand, right? Like, we take it on the chin quite a bit. But there is no acting.
I distract you. Thank you for the 47 months. Lane, huge raid. Thank you, Lane.
You can have a gun on somebody.
Appreciate you, homie.
Very clearly telling them what's about to happen. But what you don't see are the 3 other gangs that are rolling up to shoot you down or rob you or kidnap you. Like, it's rough out there. That's why I've been trying to be ruthlessly optimistic and positive.
Appreciate you, Lane, homie.
Always
enjoy hanging out with you, man.
I don't bitch to nobody about
Thank
that
you,
stuff.
Lane.
I'll talk to you about it. We'll joke about it. But the rank and file, they've been feeling this shit for a long time.
See you later, mate.
Other shifts don't feel it as bad as this shift does, but it's starting to bleed over into the EU shift. It might even be in the AU, but it just seems to be it has been a constant pebble in the shoe. But I believe the last bit, it has rapidly gotten worse. And there is no good solution that is within the capabilities and powers that we have.
Thank you for the 5 bomb, man. Appreciate you, Ranger Danger, over on Kick. Thank you so much.
But I would love for police to show up on a scene.
Appreciate you, homie.
And have a level of fear. Like Commissioner was saying, right?
Yeah.
He wanted people to fear the PD. Not that we're going to come up, ambush you, and slam you left and right, but we are the cops. We are the law.
Yeah.
Instead, we are a minor inconvenience that sometimes also can provide extra goodies in the right situation, and that it is an unfortunate existence.
Part of me wants to see a gang shootout, just go in there and fucking slam them the minute they start disrespecting our presence and remind them that we are some authority. The other part of me just wishes to ignore it in its entirety and then just leave it be and then go and fuck off and focus on anything else that isn't that. And I think PD is at a point to where we may start ignoring these shots fired call. I think it's about to happen.
That ain't the way.
I know it ain't the way, but people are starting to ignore
Here's what we do. We follow the SOPs to a T, right? And then when that doesn't work, we now document that. And we have an evidence-backed standing to say, hey, how we are supposed to do this is not working. Here are proposals. Here is a better way. Because if we just fuck off or we just say, hey, we ain't doing that, any solutions we provide mean fucking nothing. We can't go to the commissioner and say, well, let's do this.
There's no way I got robbed. I must have just not bought another one. Yeah.
What I'm saying is we do things perfectly to a T by the book. And when it goes poorly, we offer solutions, but we document that. You don't have to be documenting it for, evidence sake or this and that, but I think dispatch could recognize when something has gone poorly. And we evaluate, because this city changes, right? Think about it. From week to week, what we see out there, what we deal with, the people we're dealing with, the criminals are evolving, they're changing, they're, dealing with the ebb and flow of their world. And we are kind of just doing the same old and thinking something different's going to happen. But we are hamstrung by the SOPs. There is a world, though, where we can impact the change to build and shape the SOPs to reflect the world that we are dealing with now. And that's how we empower officers. We eliminate a defeatist mindset and instead encourage curiosity, encourage problem solvings, are you fucking kidding me?